Welcome to the Steelbirds and Dawgs podcast. I'm Myles, joined by Lee, and the man behind the cam, Jacob.
Episode 4. This has been long and awaited. Sorry that we had a couple days past the Super Bowl. We wanted to get this out sooner, but we're here now. We're here recording, so better late than never. We're going to wait for the Super Bowl recap to the very, very end. We want to start off by, I know, very slow offseason, but both of our staffs are essentially built at this point. We got the head coaches. The head coaches got their guys. So we're going to review not the head coaches because we've been talked about them, but who they've hired. The questions of like who got filled where, what it's going to look like. So I'll start off with the Ravens. The big question with Mentor was who he was going to bring in. Was he going to poach from the Harbaugh tree? He didn't really have any connections. And since he's been hired into the office, he's been ripping and running with young, innovative guys. And I like the way that he's kind of built the offensive side of the ball paired with the defensive side of the ball. He kind of went into two different philosophies with the two sides of the ball. With the offense, he went young, innovative with Declan Doyle, but then he went with guys that Declan Doyle has kind of been familiar with and guys who's had the experience. So since Declan Doyle hasn't really had the experience of calling plays, he's gotten guys like Lombardi. He's gotten guys that have really been in the system and has the experience to call plays to kind of help and aid him. And then he kind of went the inverse with the defense. He went really young with the defense. He got guys like Weaver. He got guys like Mickens, and not guys who were young, but who were able to kind of accentuate the point of what he was really talking about. So the three guys that I picked, I kind of cheated on my first pick with Doyle and Weaver combined into one as my first pick. But for Doyle, I gave it a B because I think there is a genuine concern of him not ever calling plays before, but his characteristics, I feel like are second to none. You know, Ben Johnson described him as one of the hardest workers in the room, a guy that's innovative, a guy that can create a game plan and really be prepared and kind of set the team to be prepared as well. And I don't think that you climb the ranks and become an OC at 28 without any real traits to you that can't be trusted. I just don't think that the age, doesn't give him the merit that he deserves. And when it came to Anthony Weaver, I gave this grade an A. I loved him as a
You
DC.
did?
Yeah, I didn't want him as a head coach, but in terms of DC, I mean, he's one of the best DCs out there. He was getting head coaching, interviews from multiple teams. That goes without saying something. Yeah, with the Steelers included. So I think he's respected as a DC, and that's why him coming back to Baltimore, I think helps us personally tremendously. He's a D-line specialist. I think mentors, I guess personnel favoritism in terms of what he specializes in the secondary versus what Weaver specializes in the front seven, specifically the D-line, I think will pair perfectly with each other. I think another pick that I had was Dwayne Ledford, the O-line coach / run game coordinator. I gave this one a B+. He's harbored really good run offenses with the Falcons over the past few years, and I think he utilizes wide zone a lot as well. I think that ties in perfect with Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell. I think that would help Lamar Jackson out a lot because it'll force him under center more. I think in terms of O-line, you get a lot better run schemes going on with the O-line as well. But I am curious what the passing protection looks like under Dwayne Ledford. George Warhol set us back years on top of the execution that we had with our guard play. So I'm really curious on what Ledford does with our whatever guards we have coming in and the O-line in total, whether we get Linderbaum back or not. I feel like Ledford will be able to lead a really strong group moving forward for the O-line. And in my last pick, I have Mike Mickens, who's the DB coach out of Notre Dame. Mentor went with a lot of college guys for the defense specifically. I think he liked the young, innovative minds in the college game, and that's why he went to promote a lot of these guys. He got guys like from Navy, from Duke, from Notre Dame, from Michigan, right? So he liked what these defenses were doing over in the college ball and thought that they could, translate over well to the pro game. But Mike Mickens has coached some really quality DBs. Outside of Kyle Hampton, he's coached like Cam Hart. He coached Sauce Gardner. So he's had his hands on some really good secondaries over the past few years in the college game. And he really, really preaches trusting his instincts and trusting your technique when it comes to playing in coverage and playing in phase. And he's also big on leverage. He believes that having a leverage on a wide receiver keeps you in the best position to play the ball and the receiver. And I feel like we've been lacking in technique over the past few years with our with our DB. So I'm excited for, not really seeing the soft coverage anymore, unless it's situational. But we've had some problems with that. And then I guess the last thing is we've never really had a quality control coaching, and we hired two essentially. We got Patrick Grammer and Charlie Gelman. These are game management coordinators. Charlie Gelman is a game management coordinator, and then Patrick Grammer is the offensive coordinator, quality control coach. And I think this is kind of insightful for where Mentor believes where he's at in his coaching career. I don't think he realizes, or not that he doesn't realize, he does realize that he isn't, he's not the most experienced guy in terms of head coaching. He's going to need help. And these hires, I guess, harp on that point, especially with the offensive quality control. This is just another aid to help Declan Doyle in his process and journey to becoming a great OC. But I put those grades as both a B- just because I don't know how, impactful they will be. But I think in the long run, it can only be good things. I don't see it being a bad thing for the most part. But those are my tidbits on those. What about you?
Jordan Poyer did say that nobody understood Anthony Weaver's system in Miami. So hopefully that continues in Baltimore. But all things considered, I mean, in a vacuum, I would consider this entire coaching staff like probably a C. But all things considered, like when you take into account the addition by subtraction with getting rid of Terrell Austin, hallelujah, and Arthur Smith going to the college game, I got to give it a B+. I mean, there's coaching positions we didn't have before, like Jason Simmons, our new defensive pass game coordinator, that didn't exist in Pittsburgh before this year. Either did our offensive quality control position or our senior offensive assistant, who is Frank Sinetti Jr. He's a brother of Kurt. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of Pitt guys. And if you've ever worked with McCarthy or you've played for Mike McCarthy or you're literally just from Pittsburgh, then you probably got a call for a job on staff. So I don't know if that's good or bad yet, but my most exciting hire for this new regime is definitely Patrick Graham. He was the Raiders defensive coordinator, which might sound horrible at first, but they were a middle of the pack ranked defense considering they didn't have that much talent on paper. He's ran 3-4. He's ran 4-3. I think he learns a lot of one high. I'm just excited that we have a new mind in the building who actually has some experience not being trash. I guess Terrell Austin, when we hired him, he came from the Bengals, and their defense was not good. And we had Brian Flores in the building, yet we still retained Terrell Austin to be our defensive coordinator after year of disappointing defense, being the highest paid defense in the league. So any change at that point is just, I'm going to consider it a plus. I think retaining our quarterbacks coach, Tom Arth, was my favorite thing that happened. I'm sad we lost Eddie Faulkner to Baltimore, the running back coach. He's a dog, man. He was getting those boys right. But retaining Tom Arth, I don't know if anyone was there for the Duck Hodges days or the Mason Rudolph days, but it was some dark times. And we were still getting wins. And as limited as both of those guys are physically, like, we were able to see NFL quarterback level play relatively consistently. And I credit a lot of that to Tom Arth because it definitely wasn't Mike Tomlin and it definitely wasn't Arthur Smith. I think Jari Evans, our O-line coach, would be my third and other favorite hire at a B+. I think our O-line has been improving steadily over the years, but in the grand scheme of things, pretty disappointing. I think since, like David DeCastro and Marquise Pouncey in those days, like the O-line's been pretty bad, but the past year or two, Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick stepping up has been huge. I think the biggest thing is Broderick Jones. Do you give him the fifth-year option? Is Dylan Cook the starter? Do you look for a free agent? So I'm excited to see what they do there. But all things considered, I'm glad. I think we shed a lot of dead weight that was holding us back. But I do have some hesitance because everyone is either a Pitt guy or you played for Mike McCarthy or you worked with him, and there's not a lot of youth in the building. So I guess I would just ask the question, what's the direction of this team? Like, are we trying to go back? Because Aaron Rodgers is probably coming back, and I'm not a big fan of that either. And that almost makes you wonder, are we trying to go all in and win now, or are we trying to develop young talent and build a future? So hopefully it's the latter.
I think you kind of hit on the point that I guess I missed on, is that what I loved about Mentor coming in the building with all these hires is that he went really young, across the board. I think the oldest dude that we have is maybe early. I mean, I guess his dad and then Joe Lombardi. But outside of that, the position coaches are young guys, young and ready guys. And when you look at like the future, you don't want to be 4 or 5 years down the road and be looking for a new head coach and new hires. Like the reason that a coach gets hired is that you want him to be there as long as possible, right? The whole point of Steve Bisciotti making this new hire is because he wants Mentor to be there for the next 12 to 18, 20 years, right? And I think the direction that at least the Ravens were heading on is that they're trying to develop, they're trying to get young guys, they're trying to get innovative minds, and they're trying to grow this branch as big and as long and as wide as possible before they have to really step into a new direction, which I love. But all in all, I think for the Ravens, I'm excited for what's to come for the next phase. Now that we're done with the coaching staff, how we tackle free agency, which we can kind of harp on later in the episode / deeper episodes. But I've been excited since we shanked that field goal, right? Honestly, after Harbaugh got fired, after that news hit, it's been exciting times in Baltimore. So I don't really have too much to complain about. Do you want to move on to our free agents?
Let's do it. I think the consensus best free agent right now is I know he's not actually a free agent because he got franchise tagged, but I do believe the Cowboys move off George Pickens. I'm not sure what the price would be.
Did he officially get tagged, or it's just like the planning on get tagged?
I think you can't before
until the
league new year, but it's like when it's expected, it usually is going to happen.
Yeah,
I think they did that to trade him. To trade for someone on a franchise tag, you have to extend them immediately. So it's got to be a team with some money because he might make 40 per. And the only teams I really could think of that would do something like that would be the Bills or the Patriots, honestly. But I think George Pickens, I miss him, man.
Yeah. I didn't put mine in any particular order, but GP was clearly on the list for me. I kind of agree with everything that Myles said. It would be interesting to see who does kind of shop for him. But I could also see Dallas just retaining him and throwing him the money. Jerry Jones isn't really an ethical type of owner.
You're already paying CD though.
But I think if you let go of Micah, I think it kind of shows to the point of what he values in terms of like positional pay. And if it's clear that if he's willing to not only go and get GP, I don't think it was ever in Jerry's intentions to be a 1-year rental. I think it was like let's get this guy now. Let's see how the year pans out. If we like what we see, then I might be willing to pay him. And it might be a lot, but Jerry has also shown that he's willing to spend big money in premium positions that get people into the seats.
They had a historically, like, all-time bad defense. Like
they did. Yeah,
historic numbers of just trash that was put on the field. And I don't know how you couldn't invest in your defense after seeing that. Unless you just want to say, Dak, go give us 40 points a game. But
I mean, that's kind of been the method for
CD's
them.
Already paid. You got to throw 40 at George. I
they
didn't
got
think about it. It's a Jerry Jones thing to do to make George play on the tag.
Yeah.
And I think George would sit out.
I mean, he could, but I don't know. But he's definitely one of the ones. Let me know if you agree with this name. One of the top guys I got, and I think he gets retained immediately. And this is kind of like recency bias just because of the Super Bowl. But K9, I don't think you can let him. You can let him walk because he's a running back.
City would go up in flames.
But the playoff run that he had was just special, man. Seeing him as like a true workhorse back was just it was spectacular to see, and it kind of put a smile on my face.
You don't think anything what the GM said has like anything of value?
He was like drunk. He said something funny.
I thought he said like he was trying to negotiate me, and like it felt kind of weird off the rip.
He's like, that was awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think too much of that like specific comment, but I think in the reality of letting K9 walk, I don't think he goes to like a obvious contender.
He's restricted free agent, right?
Yeah, he's restricted. So
they'll probably just match whatever.
Yeah, so I think they're in the driver's seat to get him back. But I think in terms of talent and like prime age and entering their prime, I think he's one of the top 10 guys that are in this cycle.
Yeah, I mean, and we definitely saw his peak in the playoff run. Like that was just cinema in the Super Bowl, man. That was fun to watch. But it's like a running back that is not going to be your workhorse, like 3-down back throughout the course of the season. Or obviously they weren't comfortable doing that. I mean, I wonder how much they're wanting to give him because they have a lot of cap space, but you're about to pay JSN so much money and Devin Witherspoon so much money next year. I would be shocked if they don't bring K9 back, but I think they bring him back, honestly.
Yeah. Another name that I got, I don't know if you got because I'm not going to really go in order. I'm just going to throw them out. Underrated name that I got in my top 10 is Jalen Phillips, the DN out of the Philadelphia. He got traded at the trade deadline. He was from the Dolphins. I like him personally as a Ravens fit just because we need D-line help. He played with Weaver for the past 2 years before he got traded. He had production in both Miami and with Philadelphia. And I think he's just a young, evasive, like D-line help that we could need. I think a guy like Kyle Van Noy has to walk. I don't see us resign him. If we resign him, I'm going to have some major questions for EDC. But with this draft class coming up, there is a lot of good D-line guys, but I think there's also a lot of premium guys in free agency as well. And the Ravens overall just haven't really hit on drafting an edge well, or not trading or signing one either. And especially with Owe, getting traded at the deadline, we had some serious deficiencies on that D line, especially with Nnamdi going down too. It's not guaranteed that he comes back, so he's a name that I like a lot in general, but specifically for the Ravens.
Yeah, I think Phillips definitely had a great season, all things considered. But given Howie Roseman and his ability to manipulate the cap, I don't think Phillips played himself into some contract that they can't just backload or void year their way into. So, I mean, we wish we had Josh on the pod for this one, but I think he comes back to Philly, honestly.
I can see that easily. Give me a name that you have in your
I think Malik Willis is the most interesting free agent in the league right now. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 teams that really think they're getting him, at least if you look on Twitter. And he doesn't have a lot of game tape on him. Like, there's not a lot of film on him, man. Like, what we've seen in Green Bay, obviously, he was a very serviceable backup, and you could see the athleticism. But in Tennessee, what we saw wasn't that pretty, and there wasn't much of that either. So, I don't know. I think the Steelers, Cardinals, Dolphins, and there might be a couple other teams that I'm missing there. Oh, the Browns are interested?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's new talks to be had, especially after this Sam Darnold run, of what a resurgence can look like for a quarterback. And I think a guy like Malik Willis that has intangibles, I think you have to take a risk on. I don't see any downside, especially with the QB class.
Do.
I mean, especially
you got to throw 40, 35, 40.
If you're throwing him, I mean, 55 is like the new norm, right? 60, 55, 60 is like the elite tier.
Which is disgusting.
I think paying 30 for him wouldn't be bad. 35 is fine. 40, I'm like, I don't know if I want to.
I think it's probably going to be 40 for 2 with maybe a
But if he's
option.
your starter, if he ends up balling, then it's like you're kind of stealing him at that point for that price point.
So I think
maybe
it's going to be a short deal.
Yeah,
like
maybe you throw it to him. But he's definitely a QB, like the QB1 for this free agent cycle.
And I think Miami, I don't know why, I just feel like Miami's going to go get him.
I mean, I can honestly
Jeff
see
Hafley, it just kind of makes sense.
Where would Tua end up though? Because you have to trade Tua, right?
They might just cut him and take the
dead money. I mean, yeah,
because you're not paying anyone anytime soon over there.
I mean, if a team like the Broncos can get rid of that Russ dead money over 2 years and be in the championship game, I think anyone can take on that dead money. Tua's money is just like OD crazy.
You probably cut Tua.
Yeah,
and then I don't think there's a starting position waiting for him anywhere.
Yeah. The 2 linebackers that I got on my list are Leo Chanel and Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd's an animal.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd out of Jacksonville is a dog. He's a beast. Was he All Pro this year or was he just Pro Bowl?
If he wasn't, he should have been.
He had an absurd year, and a guy like him, especially for the price range that I saw the APV at for him, it was only like 14, 13 mil.
Oh, they'll probably just retain it.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. I think premium money like that is insane, especially for a guy who's an off-ball linebacker or off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
And it could cover the field like he does, can stop the run like he does, and you can get him for that price point. I think it's a steal to try to get him. And then Leo Chanel was even like cheaper. I think he's a quality downhill type of linebacker. I think he fits the run really well. He's a great QB spy. I don't really know how well he is in pass coverage. It can't be that good, but you're also not spending a lot of money on it. I think his APV was like 6 or 7 million a year projected. But I think those are the 2 best linebackers in this free agent cycle, and I like them both.
For sure. I mean, I'm most interested to see where Tyler Linderbaum goes. I want him out of my division, please. I feel like he's a Charger. I think the Chargers got the money. I think their O-line was the worst in football. Also a historically bad unit. I think they throw Tyler whatever money he wants.
I think my prediction on it is that if the Ravens don't retain him, it's Chargers or Giants. Yeah. Like clear cut. But I think my prediction is the Ravens retain him just because I think if the Ravens can work out the extension with Lamar, that frees up a lot of cap. And I think his APV is going down a lot lower than what it is because you're not franchise tagging him just because O linemen are grouped and you're not letting him play 1 year for 28, 29 million. That's egregious. But I think the prediction before a couple weeks ago was like 20 million. Now it's kind of dropping down to 16, 17 million with the new cap extension.
You think he returns?
I think he returns. I think especially with the new hires that they're getting. I know we're not supposed to read in the social media that much, but he retweeted the Ravens bringing in Dwayne Ledford coming in, so that might mean something. It might mean something to me, man. But I would love to retain him, obviously. But if you can get him for a 4-year deal, 17, 18 million, I would overpay for him, honestly, just because our O-line isn't that great. Ronnie Stanley's aging. He had a great year last year, honestly, but he's aging. Roger Rosengard is great, but our guard play is just up in grabs. And to go and draft another center and try and develop again on a cheap deal is just a risk I'm not worth taking. So I need Linderbaum back with the Ravens.
I think another elite running back that we kind of skipped over, Breece Hall.
He was my attempt. Yeah, he was my attempt.
I don't think he's a Jet. I think Kansas. Does Kansas draft Jeremiah Love, or do they sign a running back in free agency? I feel like you asked me that 4 weeks ago. I'd be like, they're just going to throw some money at Kenneth Walker and make it shake. But
I think the Saints might sneak.
Yeah, I mean that's a good. I like that take, Jacob. But I just think the history says that you don't pay running backs. Like all the Super Bowl winning teams have running backs on cheap deals. From like the past 15 years, you're not paying a running back more than 4-6 million, whatever the number is. So I think if you're, what's the GM for the Chiefs, Veach?
Yeah.
I think if you're him, and I think Jeremiah Love's there, I think you get him. And it's not like there's a rush to get a running back on free agency either. I think if a guy like Breece Hall still isn't signed after the draft, and you don't draft Jeremiah Love, you can go get Breece Hall. But if I were the Chiefs, I'd draft Jeremiah Love. Sorry. Fresh legs, the wheels have no tread on them yet in terms of like tread, obviously. I think Breece Hall doesn't end up on a contender, honestly. That's my take. I don't think
that's where I was kind of conflicted because the Chiefs pick at, I believe, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
You could get Caleb Downs there, maybe.
If you're the Chiefs?
You could get like a serious game changer with kind of low positional value at that spot, and that would definitely change their defense. So if that's your mindset, you get him and you go sign, a Breece Hall, your offense immediately gets significantly better. Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco were trash.
That defense also did have not historically, but by the Chiefs standards, they had a terrible year. They had a terrible year.
They were super trash.
So I could see them treading the direction of defense too, honestly. I like that take. Do you have any other names? I think
I just had 3 receivers after this. I had Alec Pierce, which if you're on Colts Twitter, then it seems like it's almost a done deal that he's coming back, and that they might be moving off of Pittman instead. But
what would they do with Pittman though? Trade him?
I guess cut him, trade him. I don't know.
Damn.
That's just what Colts Twitter was saying. But Alec Pierce seems like he's gonna make like 25 per, like something crazy. And I saw he had like 50 less targets, or I think 100 less targets than somebody. No, I'm tripping. But he had a lot less targets than Jamar Chase and only like 300 less yards. So he's definitely a deep ball, go get it. I would have loved him in Pittsburgh, but it just doesn't make sense. So, And then Rashid Shaheed, obviously everyone saw that kick return, and we know what a threat he is there. I don't really know what his market would be.
Yeah, and I think it's got to be the right fit too, because I think he was the perfect fit for Seattle just because he could stretch the field, and they had a premier dominant wide receiver already who takes a lot of the load. So to add a guy like that made sense. But I don't think a team that really has an underdeveloped wide receiver room should go out and get him, because I don't think he adds much to your receiving game.
Maybe he goes back to the Saints, honestly.
Hell, I don't know.
And then Jawan Jennings was the last guy I had on my list. 28. I mean, coming off one of the better years of his career. Had some issues on the field. Like I heard people saying like he was talking real spicy on the field. I don't know if he's like a.
I heard that.
I don't know.
Saying things that like about people's moms.
Like breaking the code. Yeah, but
like to opposing teams or okay.
So, but I mean, I don't know if that really matters to a GM.
I don't give a damn. That's trash talk. Sign me up.
Send him to Baltimore.
I'm playing. But yeah, no, I like those. I do have 2 edge rushers. The 2 obvious ones were Khalil Mack and Trey Henderson. It just ends up where they end up going. I think they both get 1-year deals. I don't think they get multi-year deals, especially Khalil Mack since he's a lot older. But they both still have, They still have elite traits to their game, obviously, and they have elite bursts, but I don't think they're like your premier one edge rusher unless your D line is just that bad.
I feel like pending a Max Crosby trade, I feel like Buffalo just makes a lot of sense for either one of those. I mean, the defense is just
They kind of did the same deal with like
Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa, yeah, and then before that, Von Miller too. So
Yeah.
they like to do the 1 year rental type of edge rusher. So I like that prediction a lot. If I had to pick between the one of the two, it would probably be Trey Henderson.
I'd pick Khalil Mack, man.
I mean, I would personally pick Khalil Mack, but I'm
Trey
saying
Henderson's
like
very good.
Buffalo Bills go
Oh,
get.
like what's a good fit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he okay? I know he was franchise tagged. Was he franchise tagged?
Who?
Trey Henderson, or did they just give him like a nasty deal?
Hmm.
I know it was a 1 year. I don't know if it was a tag or not, but I'm assuming he's just unrestricted now, so he probably.
No, he was on his last year and he wanted the extension, and he said,
Yeah.
"I'm not going to play without the extension."
Oh, you don't have to trade for him. Yeah, he's a Bill, man. I
Yeah.
feel like he's a Bill.
Yeah, but no, those are our early predictions for the top 10 free agents. I think it opens up March 11th is the official date.
I'm excited.
So we're gonna be getting all the Schefter reports
Schefter
and bombs. But those are our early predictions. At least we'll cover a little bit more later on, right before the block starts. We might do like an official who goes where, and how much they sign for or whatnot too. But we'll get on moving to the Pro Bowl.
Let me cook, man.
So we wanted to talk about kind of the state of the Pro Bowl now, and the product that it's become and how it became like this, and if we have any suggestions or fixes for it. If Myles says he wants to cook, we'll let him lead off for that.
I just think there's two like inherent core issues with the Pro Bowl. Tackle football, like in its essence, doesn't lend itself well to meaningless exhibition games. And then the selection process has lost all merit. Shador Sanders was a Pro Bowler. Joe Flacco was a Pro Bowler, man. Like Drake May last year was a Pro Bowler. He played like 4 games. It gets to a point, like genuinely, it's like, what are we doing? It means nothing anymore.
I mean, I think it becomes that because they have to send somebody, and all these dudes are declining.
I mean, at that point, like if it's no longer an honor to go, I don't even know if it's worth sending anybody. But I guess I'll just cut to the chase. I don't think the Pro Bowl is really feasible anymore. Like it aired on a Tuesday in a Costco in San Francisco. Like, what are we doing? No one watched. Did any of you watch it?
No,
I didn't even know it came on.
I didn't turn it on.
Yeah, I just saw it on YouTube when I logged in one day.
It's just no longer the draw it was. I think the only remedies I could see, I will give the NFL credit. I mean, they did dodgeball, tug of war, the passing challenges and whatnot, and the celebrities in it. Like, there's not much more you can really do. Like, they made it a 7-on-7 game. Like, they tried their best. The players just don't. Like, they're not going to care, and you can't make them care. It's just not. I think it's cooked, honestly. I think it's cooked.
Before I go, do you have any suggestions? So you're saying it's cooked and that's it, or do you have any suggestions to fix it?
My suggestions would be, you got to bring it back to Hawaii. There's no NFL player I know that's going to want to travel to Orlando, Florida, or San Francisco when their season's already over to go play in a Costco on turf, like a 7-on-7 game. That means nothing. I think you got to bring it back to Hawaii. Maybe, I know they used to do like a car for the Pro Bowl MVP. But with the way the contracts are going now, like I don't even know if these dudes are going to play hard for a car. You can never go back to 11-on-11, I think, at this point. So I guess just bring it back to Hawaii and do what you're doing now and put it on a weekend. No one's tuning in on a Tuesday.
I mean, no, I agree. That was kind of my point, but mine is a little bit more cookish than yours. But I'll get into it there. But I think it came down to kind of what it is now. I think the influx of social media kind of killed the Pro Bowl.
I think it was Tyler Eifert.
Maybe that too.
When he got injured?
Yeah, but I think there was an oversaturation of fan exposure to these players, and they kind of grew tired of interacting with fans. The ability to DM a dude after he sells your parlay, it's so easy. Like I could pull up my phone right now and curse out Marlon Humphrey, and I should do that. I should do that. He was at the Super Bowl parade. Dog. He was at the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl. I'm not gonna get into it.
Going to give up 1,000 yards and then tweet about hot dogs.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I just think football players don't want to, unless it's like a necessity or unless it's their own fans interactions and stuff like that. I think it kind of killed the draw and taking a toll on them, especially when it's at the end of the year too. On top of the fact that a lot of these guys' seasons that just ended or they're in the playoffs and it just ends, it's really taken a toll on them. And it gets to a point too, it's like we get all these dudes that decline, and it just goes to rookies at these points. Like we got so many rookie Pro Bowls, and I'm not trying to take a slide on them, but they don't deserve it.
I actually am.
They genuinely don't. And I think the aesthetic of the Pro Bowl too. When you think about the Pro Bowl, you literally say bring it back to the Hawaii, and that kind of harps on my point. Like when you thought about the Pro Bowl, you thought about
It was an honor.
yeah, you thought about the lays, you thought about the sun out, you thought about the beach and the skyline, you thought about the 40 races and stuff like that. And I think having these destinations where the players can bring their friends and their family to, that they can actually enjoy this vacation. And you're dumbing it down to Orlando, Florida at Camping World, where they go out where we see these dudes in downtown Orlando after the Pro Bowl, or you take them to the same week of Super Bowl weekend so you can save money. Roger Goodell, that's on you for being cheap, just to save a couple extra bucks and throw them into Costco in San Fran. I think it's a little silly. And I think my way to fix that was to make it special again. So not just making it Hawaii, but with the clear direction that the NFL is trying to go in making it an international game. I think you start making the destinations international. Start booking the Pro Bowl to London, booking the Pro Bowl to Germany, to even to Africa. Start expanding the game so you have a new interaction of new fans and an influx of new fans being able to interact with these players, and give some of the players to look forward for. I might have had a 5-12 season, but hey, I'm a Pro Bowl. I get to go to, I can bring my wife and kids over to London now. We can go hang out for the week and start making it a week-long experience again. And now you get the new fans interacting with the players who can have a ball, because they don't get to watch these guys on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis. So I think it connects them from growing the game to seeing the game, the players and experience, a Pro Bowl, and start making the events fun again.
You would keep it 7-on-7 though?
I probably would, yeah. I think, like you said, it's kind of too hard to go back to pads 11 on 11, the full physicality of it, because kind of like you said, the game inherently doesn't really work for entertainment and purposes, or exhibition purposes for these guys to play like full physical, full force in pads. So 7-on-7, let them go international, let them bring them kids, the wife, the friends, let them spend the week there, and that way the players can find fun in it again, and that the fans, the new fans that you're trying to grow the game with, get to see football in a different light, in a different way. That would be my fix though. Make it international.
I like that because that's gonna really, if they happen to do that in the next couple of years, that's gonna help with how there's gonna be a flag football Olympics.
Yeah. It would grow the game, and you would still have fans who will want to see the Pro Bowl anyways. You would have American fans traveling to wherever you got the destination going.
I mean, I think
we had people flying down from Florida internationally to come, watch it too. So
I guess, in the mind of a player, like I'm Max Crosby, for example, and we're like 5-12, and I haven't played the last 3 weeks of the season because my team shut me down, and then it's like I gotta wait another 3 weeks for the playoffs. I haven't played a meaningful football game in 6 weeks, and now I gotta get on a flight to Zimbabwe and go play like another game that's meaningless. Like I just feel like that might kind of reinforce the we don't care. And then if you're a D lineman, like the Pro Bowl now is just like wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, and DBs. Like if you're an on the ball lineman, like okay, I don't know, but I think
Garrett Bowles was balling out, man.
yeah, I'm saying.
I think you had as good of an idea as we possibly could, and I think if it's ever going to get back to its old form, that is a great idea. That we need to put it somewhere that is cool.
Yeah, and it's more for the players to have an excuse to go somewhere fun. Because that's what it always was. It was the players to go somewhere fun, have their friends and family pull up with them, and then they get to interact with fans in a really fun place. Not coming to Orlando, Florida, and like they were they were degrading it year in. Because you remember it started at Wild World of Sports, and like you had the whole Disney experience, and the players can go to Disney and Epcot, and then they can go over to Wild World of Sports and play on the turf grass. And next thing you know, they're at Camping World, and then they gotta Uber to downtown Orlando to get drinks afterwards. Like they had they had nothing to do. You were downgrading year in and year out. So you got to make it fun again. Let them go to, I don't know, like Denmark. I don't even know, but make it fun places.
I guess, man. I don't know if they have a stadium big. Well, yeah, they probably do. Yeah, I think
they got soccer fields. So
I think that's as good of a remedy as you can really get.
Yeah, that was off the dome piece too. Original thought. Co-sign it. Now, finally, Super Bowl recap. We've been waiting for it. We're a couple days past it. Sorry for that. But we had the thoughts marinate. We watched the games. We'll let Myles start on what you thought of the game, thoughts, insights.
If you're just a casual fan who's like just tuning in for the playoffs of the Super Bowl, it's probably one of the worst games you've seen. It's like that was somebody's first football game, and they're probably like, "Wow, this is what you guys wait all year for." But when you watch it from like what actually happened, McDonald, man, that dude is different. Like, he's like McVay on the defense. They knew all the tells of when they were passing or running.
Dog.
Will Campbell, you might need to go work at Amazon.
I'm not gonna be super critical on Will just yet.
Oh,
but,
I will.
but he had a bad playoff run, terribly bad playoff run. But I think fighting with the injury that he had,
Then just don't play.
I mean,
I don't like that excuse. You're actively hurting your team. You're not being a warrior by playing through it. You're hurting your team.
I'm not saying that it's an excuse, but the simple fact is I don't think he was at his full potential. But that didn't help.
Not, for his sake.
But that didn't help his case. But you can continue. I just didn't want to. I'm not off the Will Campbell train yet.
Seattle just made it this entire season. If you can get home with 4, as simple as it sounds, like it's kind of just crazy. You can sit in too high the whole game, the whole season pretty much. Just sitting too high. It's so hard to generate explosives against his team. Nick Eman-Wari, man. And the Witherspoon, the way they blitz with their DBs, they don't even blitz that much, but it gets home every time. Like, the stunts get through every time. Everything they did worked. It was just crazy, and they didn't have a single turnover the entire playoffs, the offense.
It was a masterclass through and through. I think I saw a stat where Witherspoon blitzed 21 times the whole season. That game, he blitzed 6 times. So that shows you that there was a game plan that was instilled from the 2 weeks that they had prepped it, and they executed to perfection, man.
Teach tape.
It was literally teach tape. I think if they played 100 times, I think the Seahawks win like 88 or 90.
The Seahawks win 100.
Maybe 100. I don't think that game could have gone too many other ways, honestly. In terms of the Patriots offense, I think their defense played well enough to win the game. I'll just put that out there.
Defense played a great game.
The Patriots defense played well enough to win that game. But unfortunately, the offense was just pathetic. It was desperate. And it felt like even towards the end when Drake May started to push the ball downfield, and I think it was recklessly. I think it reeked of desperation. Even like the Matt Collins touchdown when it was one-on-one with, it just felt like they didn't have anything going for them, and it's like they couldn't even game plan or adjust. On top of that, I think the run defense for the Seahawks stuffed them, and it kept them in 3rd and long, 4th and long, and they just could never get a sense of rhythm going, and it just made it really difficult.
The thing I noticed is when they rarely had Travion in on passing downs, which is typical for them, but like when they had Ramondre in pass pro, he was always on the right side of Drake May, and they would constantly blitz from the left. Like everything was a action at Will Anderson. Or what's his name?
Will Campbell.
Will Campbell, the Campbell Soup, the Amazon employee. I'm gonna just call him Amazon. So I would have liked to see them move Ramondre to the left and give him some protection in that sense, or maybe some more boots. Okay, there's nothing they could have done. There's really no thought exercise to do here. They were cooked when they're dominating you with 4 and they're dominating you in too high, and you can't run the ball against too high, and yet you can't get any penetration anywhere on the field. You can't win the game.
I think going into the game, I think the slight edge that people kind of gave the Patriots was the coaching staff. In terms of like not head to head, but in terms of like experience, they felt like Josh McDaniels he's been there 8 times now or 9 times now, however many he was. Mike Vrabel's, a player coach who's been in the Super Bowl, so they felt like they had the advantage in terms of experience, and they simply didn't. They couldn't adjust to save their life. It felt like even when they came out of half, it felt like the Seahawks. It almost felt like when the Seahawks threw everything at them, they had more to throw at them, and the Patriots couldn't counterpunch them to save their life. And I felt like that's the NFC Championship game was the real Super Bowl because it felt like they were throwing counterpunches for counterpunches. Both coaches had an answer for each other when it mattered most in different ways. And the Patriots just didn't have that. And I felt like they got outmanned at every phase of the game, really.
I think the biggest difference between the two teams is, the Rams and the Patriots in terms of their performance against the Seahawks is the Rams were able, like Matt Stafford made decisions instantly. Pre-snap, knew where he was going. And then they have like actual elite playmakers on the outside and Puka, who moves everywhere, and Devontae Adams. The Patriots, like, you got Mac Hollins trying to sit in zones and not even doing it right. And then Stephon Diggs was just a non-factor that entire game. You overachieved this season. So if you're a Patriots fan, maybe you're happy. But this team, that was a beatdown, man.
Yeah, no, I think a team like the Seahawks that come in every so often that we don't get these QB secretaries shows you what a real team looks like from top to bottom. You even have an offense that wasn't really spectacular, but they didn't turn the ball over, and that was enough.
And that's all Sam Darnold had to do, man. I'm glad we didn't do a prediction episode because I would have picked the Patriots. I was going to say Sam Darnold is so due for a stinker.
I said it
He's
every
due for
time
one turnover.
every time you said that, I was like, I don't know, man. He hasn't even.
I will say he did put the ball in harm's way twice.
Not gonna lie, bro, in the beginning of the game, right?
He did put the ball in harm's way twice. He missed JSN on an 80-yard touchdown.
Ooh, that would have fed my parlay. Don't even talk about that play.
And he missed Shaheed on a
Ooh.
deep ball that he threw short, but he was under duress that play. All things considered, Sam Darnold played as great of a game managing game as you can play. He's in the game manager Hall of Fame in my eyes.
And
that
it's
was
crazy
perfect.
too because the turnaround was seamless. He had 20 turnovers in the regulars. He led QBs in turnovers all year.
He was seeing ghosts against the Rams. He was looking like a bum
and then he hooped for 3 games straight, and that's all you need.
when they needed it most. Man.
But no, the Seahawks were the best team in the National Football League this year. I think it was proven in that game. I
still got the Rams.
think they played 3 times. You beat them twice.
Okay, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but
The 2-point
remember that-
conversion?
Yes,
Dog.
That's gonna be such like 5 years down the road. We look back like, wow, what if that game was in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Zach Sharp, that was not. I did bet on the Seahawks that game, so I was excited that it happened. But looking back, I'm man enough to admit I've never seen anything like that. Fumble off the old lineman's head or whatever, and then it bounces in, and you're allowed to advance a fumble on a 2-point. I haven't been familiar with that rule, but regardless,
I feel like I can't put a number on it, but there's got to be 12% to a Super Bowl run. It's got to be luck.
for sure.
And that's kind of luck that you take. But I would label the Seahawks the best team in football this year, and they rightfully deserve this championship. McDonald had them prepared since week 1, since the OTAs, and with the luck of injuries that they had their way of being healthy, to the guys that they had on defense, to Sam Darnold's play in the playoff run, to K9 being the dog that he is, having the best wide receiver in the football league this year, 1A, if you call it Puka, if you call him. Regardless, they were the best. They won the Super Bowl. It was pretty clear as day. I don't know if I predict them to run it back next year. I mean, I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl, but in terms of dominance and of winning the division and stuff, I wouldn't put my money on it yet, but I think they're contending with McDonald for a long time.
I think losing Kubiak's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I don't know who they replace him with. Do you know?
I think they're going to promote within. They interviewed 4 guys within all at once, so it's probably going to be a promotion within whoever it is.
As long as they keep putting JSN in the backfield and lining him up in the slot and putting him in motion, it should be free eats for him. And they ran the ball so well. I guess my biggest thing is Sam Darnold. I know he has 1 more year on his contract, and there's some voids and some weird guarantees or whatever, but I wonder if he just played himself into 50 per.
I mean, he's younger than Joe Burrow.
Wow,
you have a future with that guy. If you can replicate the model of hard defense, give me no turnovers in the playoffs, and just play smart football.
I love Sam at $30 million a year when I can get rid of him whenever and not take much of a cap hit.
Yeah, that would be
$50
ideal.
million per year. You stretch that over a couple years, it's
it gets nasty, man.
You kind of have to. I mean, he played the perfect brand of football for what that team needed. Just didn't make the mistake. Don't make mistakes. We don't need you to be a hero, and he did what he needed to.
Made plays when he had to. So
yeah.
All in all, they're the hunted now. They won the Super Bowl.
That division's a bloodbath. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I think the division in the future. I don't know about next season specifically, but I think the future of that division kind of runs through the Seahawks. I think the 49ers have aging superstars. They got CMC, George Kittle.
Kittle probably doesn't play next year.
Kittle might not play next year. CMC's going to be on the other side of 30 next year.
Nick Bosa should be
fresh
legs at that point.
Yeah, but he's coming off another ACL injury. Fred Warner's coming off of Fred Warner should be fine. He's best linebacker in the league, but he should be fine. But regardless, your talent, Trent Williams, they're old, right?
I wonder who's more sick. I mean, over the past 7 years, if you're a Buffalo fan or a Niners fan, obviously the Niners had
it's pretty bad.
What is it? 3 Super Bowl appearances. Oh, I guess that was 2012. But you lose to the Chiefs twice. And if you're the Bills, you never even made the Super Bowl. Mahomes owns you. I guess who do you think would be?
Niners is worse.
Really? Because of the injuries, and you feel like it's not your fault. It's just unfortunate.
No, I think Buffalo because game in their hands, they've been in those moments for real, and they come short every time. At least the Niners get to experience it, and they just have the displeasure of facing Mahomes.
Both teams
Both are 13 seconds. That game would change. That would change the trajectory of my life if I was a Bills fan.
Dude, I would hurt some people, but back to my other point is the Rams. What they have Matthew Stafford, who's he's coming back and he has an MVP, but the future of his outlook is probably 2 years max.
And that's going to be 2 years where your window is gigantically open. I don't think they have to pay Puka this offseason.
Yeah, and then it's like now you got to pay Puka, Devontae's like in terms of the scope of the NFC
they're
West.
chilling.
I think the trajectory is going to start changing a little bit. I think with Mike Madonna under the helm, he might mess around and run that division a lot sooner than we think. But that's
tripping.
That's a different conversation for a different day.
I can't wait to see where the free agents go because I think the Rams do win that division next year. Honestly,
I would pick the Seahawks again. But
I mean, we're a fumbled 2-point conversion away from it this year, and I don't think we see. I don't know. There's more tape on Sam Darnold now. Maybe teams will figure it out.
How do you think it goes down if the Rams somehow got to play in the Super Bowl instead of the Patriots?
Ooh, it would definitely be a more fun watch. Like we get to see what Drake May is really capable of. I think we both probably would assume the Rams would win that game then.
Yeah, I still pick the Rams. I think the firepower that they would have on offense, and the way McVay schemes, I think the Patriots didn't really show me that they could keep up with high octane offenses.
Yeah, I mean this whole playoffs they've been scoring like 10, 12 points.
No matter how good the defense has played, this game proved that the Seahawks offense was competent, but it wasn't explosive by any means.
Yeah,
and they were by far the best offense that they faced, and the Patriots weren't even in the game. It felt like whatever game was the Chargers, it was whether it was the Texans
was also nasty.
Like the Patriots offense kind of fumbled their way in the wins. Like it was really bad work. So I think the Rams still win. It might not be as dominant. It might be a little bit more of a shootout, but I think the Patriots offense couldn't keep up with anybody in reality.
Christian Gonzalez has made so much money.
Yeah.
He balled. Yeah.
How do y'all think the Rams were thinking sitting on the couch watching that game? Do you think they wish they were in that game?
I mean, obviously they wish they were in the Super Bowl, but I think I wonder how much players look back and are like, "Wow, that 2-point conversion was ridiculous," or like, "Wow, like if you don't muff that punt, like we probably win that game." Like,
but do you think if they were in the Super Bowl, they would have won against the Seahawks?
Oh,
like if they were thinking that, like, oh, we could have won this or no?
The Rams?
Yeah, like if they got to play them.
Yeah, I mean,
like in a hypothetical world, yeah, I think they feel like they could win. I wouldn't have picked them.
When you play a team that close in their home, and like every game you played that year was like crazy. Dang, man, it's hard to beat a team twice. So shout out to Seattle for doing it, but
yeah.
I definitely think the Rams were not like they're not worried. I think the Patriots looked a little like scared and timid going into that game. I don't think the Rams would fear anyone on that team.
No, Gonzo was probably like the only guy that like really like showed up and showed out, and even he got did on that one round. Ooh, that my money would have been. I'm sorry, I'm talking with too much emotion. But no, Gonzo was the only one that really showed up. But even, and that's the other thing too is when I was saying like the Seahawks offense didn't really feel potent. Like Sam Darnold missed throws. Like he was off timing a little bit too. Like the game could have been way worse if Darnold like hits that like touchdown right before half, and then they get the ball back.
Yeah, what was it like 12-0 at half?
Yeah, 12-0.
That was probably
the Patriots got the ball at half.
That was probably the biggest like 12-point lead I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, no, it was like when it was 6-0, it was like maybe the Patriots get something going, get a field goal going. And then when it hit 9-0, I was like, this game
we
feels
didn't even
over.
talk about it. That was probably the best punting performance I've seen in a game.
Oh, by far.
The Seattle punter, what's his name, Dixon?
I think so, yeah.
Absolute teach tape. They're on their inside their own 5 like 4 drives. And they're already struggling. Like that was just
Cough in a corner, nightmare masterclass.
Everything that could go wrong for New England did, and everything that could have gone right for them did not go right. You know, Gonzo doesn't come down with the pick, but I'm not hating on dude. He played his behind off. Drake May's missing throws. Matt Collins Matt Collins really is just not a guy you want to really have to rely on in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I feel like the Patriots all season has to turn the wide receiver room. Like immediate thought
in my eyes.
Immediate thought because the defense was fine. Milton, Gonzo is kind of like your cornerstone pieces on defense. I think in terms of the draft, I don't know what wide receiver could fall to them. You might have to go free agency, but I think their immediate threat has to be wide receiver.
I will give credit to Sam Darnold because Milton Williams had him dead to right on it 2 or 3 times. And I'm seeing Sam Darnold, step up in the pocket. Like, what's going rush for 12 yards? What are we doing? That was probably his line, too. When he started doing all that, that was impressive.
Composure.
Actually, I saw a thing that he hit his line, and then...
The kneel.
The
He
kneel
lost
counted
it.
as a rush, and it was, like, perfectly under. Like
Well.
They be calling in them fixes at the last minute, too. Do you have any Super Bowl props that hit like non-game related, like any like Gatorade color?
I know the national anthem under was popular on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't place any of the fun parlays. It was strictly game, and I got cooked. JSN did not score a touchdown, and I thought he would. But besides that, no, I didn't do any fun ones.
Yeah, we had a group parlay for those who are listening. We went 1 for 6, but my bet hit.
What was it?
I had K9 rush yards. Remember?
You cooked.
Yeah, and then
That hit
his
first half.
his all-purpose yards went crazy. I should have bet that, but my non-game picks, I had tails for heads and tails. When Joe Montana got onto the screen and the ref was like, "Our honorary coin flip," I knew I wasn't getting it. I knew for a fact it was gonna be heads. So my money went down the drain on there. Marissa picked the right color. She picked lime. For me, so
That's some super degen gambling. But
yeah, no, but I was happy with that pick. I didn't do national anthem. I couldn't bet streaker on Hard Rock. I wanted to, couldn't do it.
they're probably gonna take that slip off, honestly. Like,
Yeah, I think that this is like the third year in a row. There's been like an inside better doing it right. Like he just bets on himself and then he does it anyways.
That guy's YouTube video isn't crazy. He shows like his whole process. He like trained for it. And he, like,
I saw the clip of him sending the decoy out first,
Yeah.
so
That
they
was
tackle
genius.
so they tackle him and then he gets the free beeline. That's actually.
he was kind of moving.
I know Roger Goodell is going to be on their ass next year.
He
Right,
wore
yeah.
disguises and shit, but they still had like they were still looking for him, and then they got him.
Because I don't know if you guys saw that the TikToker, he said I'm betting my life savings on the Seahawks, like
The 33,000.
So
Yeah.
he was streaming, and then like Deshae Frost was there or something. He's like, "Yo, you should streak on the field." He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." Haha. Like right as before they're gonna walk into the game, right after the national anthem, they're like, "Yo, you have to leave." Like the police just escort him out of the building.
Oh,
So,
the guy that bet on the game was at the
yeah,
game.
but they escorted him out. He didn't get to watch.
Damn.
So they weren't playing around with that stuff. That's why I was kind of surprised the streaker was able
Just
to.
making a threat that you're gonna.
Yeah, they were all. over
Nah,
that
Roger
stuff.
Goodell is gonna send some people out there next year to make sure that doesn't happen. But I mean, outside of that, you got anything else to harp on?
No, I think we're good, man.
Yeah, all right. Well, this is episode 4 of Steelbirds and Dogs. Thank you for tuning in. I think next episode we're really gonna have lined up our mock drafts. We want to throw it up on the big screen. We keep saying it. We want to bring in our first special guest soon. Hopefully that happens. And he'll probably become a regular guest, but we'll save tune who that is. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.